Hey, it's Ross O'Loughlin here and recording this video on Thanksgiving, 25th of November. If you're watching it today, happy Thanksgiving. If you're living in the States, if you're not living in the States, uh, you're probably just like me and everyone else in the world um, on the receiving end of all sorts of Thanksgiving wishes. And everyone's getting ready for Black Friday. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I wanted to jump on here, shoot a quick video to kind of walk through what you should be doing for Black Friday. You may already have a promotion in the works, or maybe you were thinking about getting a promotion together, but you weren't sure what to do. And that's just something I've been hearing a lot from my clients over the last couple of weeks. I'd love to do something, but I don't know what to do. I'll kind of do a discount, but I'll do it on my lower end products, and it's good for getting people in, but it's not really the game changing kind of promotion that I'm hoping for. And if you're like me, you just maybe you don't like discounting, right? I don't discount in my brand in my company. I don't want to be perceived as a discount brand. That's not to say there's anything wrong with doing that. Like there's some businesses I know, and they have multi-million-dollar weekends every Black Friday because they're just that's the brand that they're going for. They like to give their people good deals, and if that works for you, awesome. But it's not like everything in marketing. There's no like one size fits all solution. And it's really about what's right for you and your business. Like I've also worked with clients who had audiences that were really deal seekers, deal makers, like loved being thrifty and finding a good deal. And anytime that we offered a discount, like 300 grand, sometimes 500 grand, without even much effort into the promotion, would just appear in the bank account. And that's because for that market with that product, it worked. It made sense. But that might not be the situation for you. And a number of my clients are in that situation. And I just wanted to jump on here, record a video to talk about what you can do, right? If we're looking to go deals, deals, deals here, if we're looking to, is this coming up right? Maybe it's not. Excuse me, I'm messing around with a new, there we go. That's it. Deals, deals, deals. If you're looking to put together some deals, this is going to be just a simple framework that you can use, because realistically, everyone thinks a couple of things. One, they think I have to offer a discount on Black Friday, but that's not actually the case, as I'm going to talk about today. You don't have to offer a discount. A discount is one way of giving a deal, but it's not the only way, right? And I want to share a simple framework that I use to come up with how to come up with deals. Um, and I want to also have you internalize and realize that it's not about the discount. Discount is what we regularly see on Black Friday, but that's just one way of getting a deal. And what people want is a deal, right? They want to feel like they're on the receiving end. They're the one that's coming out on top in the exchange between them and the service provider. And let's just kind of talk through what that can look like for you. So, couple of things to kind of look at here. The overall framework, right? I learned this from Dr. Flip McLaughlin from Mech Labs. But in any marketing exchange, you can imagine it like a fulcrum, right? Like a seesaw, basically, right? Here we've got a seesaw, and on one side we have what we call the cost force. How much is it going to cost me in my mind to say yes to whatever this person is asking of me? There's always a cost. Even if the cost is just moving your mouse over and spending 30 seconds to enter your email and click, that's a cost. Also, in mind with free opt ins, the cost is with the risk of that person that I'm opting in for sending all sorts of emails to me over the next few weeks that I don't want, right? Um, Obviously, if you're asking about money or if you're asking for a paid product, there's going to be financial costs involved, time costs involved, right? In terms of what's going to be required on their end as part of the exchange. On the other end, there you've got the value force, right? Which is what do I reasonably expect I'm going to get out of this if I say yes to this offer? And what you want to do is you want to make sure that the value force is always larger to the cost force. You all right? That way, you'll have the fulcrum swing in your direction, and you'll just get an awful lot more yeses. Um, Now, how much value and cost you got to take off one side and add to the other is up to you. Um, what a lot of people do on Black Friday is they reduce the cost for us, right? They say, cool, so it's 20% off or 99% off everything, including the kitchen sink. And what they're basically doing is they're just cutting the cost force off of their deal, and they're adding, hoping that the value force is enough to swing it the other way. I'm a much bigger proponent of saying, cool, how rather than reducing the cost force and discounting our prices, how do we just increase the value force, right? And there's several ways that you can do this. Now, the important principle here that I want you to understand, though, is it's all about perceived value. What is perceived value? Very simply, it's the value that's perceived by the market, and it's the amount of value that's perceived by the market, right? You'll regularly see people say, "Here's 25 million bonuses, each valued at $100 million each." They're just like sticking some arbitrary number on those bonuses. I know they're arbitrary because I've been on the inside of certain promotions where we're writing out the value stack back in my early days as a copywriter, and the numbers that were being made up for the different bonuses were literally just being made up, right? They weren't any real world actual values. They were just stacked to give this impression of saying you're actually getting $40 million worth of information and education here, and you only have to pay $9.99. But realistically, that's not the value that's perceived by the market, right? So one thing you can do is to add high value bonuses, right? I know it sounds like I was just knocking that, but bonuses are a great way to increase the value that the person feels that they're going to be getting. But the important part is that they're high value, perceived by the market as high value, right? So if you've been selling a program and it's like got a legitimate market value, and you've sold it for that amount, and the market knows you've been selling it for that amount, and you add that in, or you add in some other additional bonus where there is a tangible real world market value associated to it, that is a great way to increase the value force for your offer, right? Whether the way to do it is creating bundles, right? You can take a number of products together and say, hey, all of these, you can get them for this amount, right? That's another great way to be able to increase the value of what the person is getting. Have it as a one-time offer. Nothing wrong with one-time offers as long as they're legitimate. But there's another way, rather than increasing just the value of what the person's seeing here, there are other creative ways that you can reduce the cost. It doesn't have to be money off, right? One such way is to reduce the risk, right? Reduce the risk that the individual has to take on themselves, that giving you money is actually going to work out and they're actually going to experience this value, right? So one way to do that is try now, pay later. This is basically how every piece of furniture is ever sold, right? Or, you can get, all sorts of other goods on a very kind of like, hey, no payments due for however much, and then it's zero APR. So basically they just want you to say yes, and they'll collect the money later because they know you're going to love the product so much and it's going to be so integral to your life that you're never going to send it back, right? That's a great way to reduce the risk. You can also add additional access to you, to your world, right? This is slightly different. Actually, I'm just looking at my notes here. It's in the wrong order. The other one is payment plans, I should say, before we get to the additional access. But additional special payment plans, right? Allowing someone to get started with an extended payment plan where the cost of trying it out and their ability to spread the risk, spread the payments, it's a great way to be able to get someone interested and involved and saying yes, because people are much more flexible with the money they have to pay now versus money that they're happy to pay later, right? Someone can easily say, I can absorb a $200 cost per month for the next 6 months or 12 months, but asking me for $2,000 up front, that can be pretty hard for some people to swallow. But then additionally, over here, I'm just going to move over to this side. Additional access, right? One thing that I've seen a lot of my clients do, or in the businesses I've worked with, not additional clients, additional access, is you can bundle in access to your events, right? Uh, Give people access to a higher level of program, right? Join now and you'll get access to these calls, which are reserved for this group, and you get them for 6 months. Or come to our live event. You get a free ticket. It's normally $500. You can come to us. And the best part about that is that oftentimes there's no additional cost for you, right? If we delete all this, oftentimes with these, there's no additional cost for you, or it's marginal because you're already going to be running that event. You're already running those calls. Having someone else sitting in on it is relatively low impact to running the overall event, but it's immensely valuable for the individual that you're giving it to. Plus, it also acts as a great demonstration and sampler of the sort of thing they can expect with that additional level of access, right? So you kind of get someone into an initial offer, help them get that big result, but they also get a taste of what it's like to work with you on an additional level, right? So all of these really are just, there's tons more ideas. These are ones that I love to experiment with, and get people thinking through, like, what would be some examples that you could use for your own business, essentially, right? And the best way to think about it is you've got two dimensions to play with. One is increasing the perceived value, which is one of the best ways to do it. By that I mean, like, if there's a lot of studies and experiments that show if you give 20% off and you say you can have the same thing for 20% off, or if you legitimately increase the value by 20% and it's for the same price, oftentimes increasing the perceived value gets a higher response than the discounted approach, right? A lot of studies from the direct marketing world back in the day that show that. Obviously, it depends on the market. If people are extremely price sensitive, which most people think their market is, but it's not always the case. If people are extremely price sensitive, sometimes the discount could work better. But I would push you to experiment if you can increase the perceived value. And obviously perceived value, that means like it's legitimately perceived. I'm trying to remember how to spell here. Legitimate perceived value from by the market, that they see, wow, that's actually worth $200, right? It's not just some bundled recordings that this marketer has left over from things they did 10 years ago. Like, a great way to think about that is services, right? If you bundle in $500 worth of services that someone would have to pay for, like, that's a great way, but it's obviously not going to cost you that amount to deliver deliver those services. In their mind, that's a legitimate perceived value. They'd actually have to pay that amount to get those services, and they're getting them for free. That's a great way to think through how to legitimately increase the value of your offer with actual perceived value by the market, right? Including physical products that they would have to go to a market and buy, like, for example, an iPhone. Obviously, you don't want to be bundling in brand new iPhones with your offer, because it's going to cost you like however much, $1,000, $1,200, whatever an iPhone costs these days. It's going to cost you that much to add it in. But what you want to be able to do is really look at what are the things that are high perceived value for the market and low cost of delivery for you, right? If you can find that sweet spot, that can really increase the response, and it could absolutely make a fantastic deal, right? And then the other way is to think through reducing risk. Reducing risk, right? If you think through the two ends of the spectrum of risk, and we put these on a spectrum here, all the way on the left is, actually put it all the way on the right, actually. All the way on the right here is 100% payment up front, right? All sales final, no refunds, right? in this situation, and just assuming my head's in the way here, let me move that out of the way. So 100%, all sales final, no refunds. And then on the left, this is, hey, no initial payment, try for 30 days, and only pay after you're 100% satisfied. Right? That can be the two bookended sides of the risk spectrum. And people typically have their offers more stacked towards this side, right? Where you are asking the market to take some risk. They are the ones that have to pay before to open the box and find out what's happening. But if we can think of ways that we can maybe slide this in this direction, not to say that you need to go all the way over to here, but if you can slide it so that there's a far more reduced risk for the market, that can be a huge way to increase the response as well. And it's a great way to be able to get more responses and make it feel like your market's getting an awesome deal, right? So those are just some thoughts to help you think through maybe your deals for Black Friday. And switch back here. Just want to say that there is actually a special offer going on here with Open Every Day at Conversion Engineering. It is a special thing I'm experimenting with here for Black Friday. And it's a pay-as-you-profit model, right? Great example of how you could reduce the risk and make it super easy for you to get started inside of the program. So it works really, really simple, right? The basic idea is most of the students and clients that come into the program, they run their first campaign and they multiply their investment in the program, right? It's a really, really, really well-designed program that gets results fast. And if you come into the program, I want to help you get to that point as quickly as possible. And to help you reduce the risk, you can get started for just $100, right? What we're doing is we're offering a really simple pay-as-you-profit model where it's $100 to get started, and then it's simple, easy weekly payments from that point on. That way you can get in, you can get started, you can get rocking. We can work out the campaign that's really going to, make your money back as soon as possible. And from there, membership in the program is for life, meaning you can stay in and work with me over the next year to beyond to make your business open every day, right? If that is something that's interesting to you, check out the link below this video. There's going to be a button that will take you to the product page where it unpacks all the detail of the Black Friday experiment, plus explains how the program works and some of the results that some of our clients have been getting, which are continue to blow me away. I'm thrilled to be able to work and serve alongside all those amazing entrepreneurs. So check that out below. Click the link, go check out the page. And if you want to join us as part of the Black Friday experiment, all you need to do is sign up on that page before 11 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Black Friday, which is the 26th of November. So if you're seeing this video now, check it out. Go and check it out. Otherwise, check out the page anyway. You might be thinking Open Every Day is for you. But if not, no worries, no hassle. We'll be here for you whenever you're ready. But this is only a one-time experiment. Not planning on doing it again. So check it out while it's available. Otherwise, enjoy your Thanksgiving if you're in the States.